Hi, I'm meteorologist Kate Hickford with the National Weather Service in Paducah, Kentucky.
And I'm Alvin Harper, Site Superintendent at Fort Massac State Park with the Illinois Department of Natural Resources.
And on today's episode of Porch Watchin', I'm going to be talking to Alvin about large outdoor events and things that you need to know to stay safe. Thank you for talking to me today, Alvin.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
Thank you. So I know that there's plenty of large events that happen throughout our entire area, the Quad State area, as well as throughout the entire country that happen at state parks. They happen in large venues, outdoors and such, concerts, things like that. I know, for example, we have the Fort Massac encampment here. How many people does that typically bring out?
Generally, we have around 20,000 to 40,000 visitors.
Holy cow, that's a lot of people, especially for this area. That's a lot of people in one day. What are some things that the general public needs to know to stay safe if they come to one of those events?
They definitely need to keep an eye on the weather. They need to check out the daily forecast of the weather of that day, and they need to be weather prepared.
That's awesome. What about if the weather were hot and sunny?
Yeah, so if the weather's hot and sunny, they definitely need to wear appropriate clothing, light colors, loose fitting. Wear a large brimmed hat with sunscreen, and definitely pack some water. They also, on the day of the event, need to be checking the weather apps to make certain that the weather isn't going to change.
Awesome. And I know that's pretty typical for summer around here to be really hot and sunny and humid, but during our transition seasons, such as spring and fall, we can get some really crazy weather. So what about some storms and things like that?
Yeah, if storms are in possibility of the event is rain or shine, and so people need to plan accordingly and pack rain gear, or definitely pack a sweater if it's going to be cold that day.
Fantastic. Now, what about people that are going to be staying overnight? I know some of the vendors stay overnight and things like that, so as well as some of the campers, what do they need to know?
Yeah, so campers definitely need to continue to keep an eye on the weather after the event day, and they can do that by utilizing a weather radio and also keeping up to date with their apps.
That is all really fantastic information. I'm glad that you mentioned the weather radios. That's something that we highly recommend all the time, especially if you're going to be outdoors in areas with sparse cell phone coverage or areas where cell phones may not cut it because towers are going to be crowded with a lot of people or other such large events, right? So having a weather radio that is set to go off for alerts is something that's really important and can very much be life-saving. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Alvin, and we'll see you next time on Porch Watchin'.